Hello, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Helsinki as the sun sets on this magnificent place, and the lights begin to shine at their brightest. We are here, as always, Tugi, joined alongside Mr. Sim for the win for this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. We said we'd be here live. The atmosphere is as electric as ever as we get ready for the first two games of this best-of-7 series to determine our spring season champion. Sin, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
It absolutely does not. I mean, you said it, the electricity here, you can absolutely feel it being on site like this for an esports event of this magnitude. There's nothing quite like it. The ice surface has been purified by the Zamboni, so to speak, and we're here along for the ride getting to watch the two best teams this season in the Elite Division go head-to-head to decide a finalist.
Today, this LAN event, I mean, hey, there's no wall between Sin and I this time out. There's no walls between these two teams either. Head-to-head, face-to-face, 6K euros at stake for the prize. And, of course, Sin as well, depending on the outcome of this series, we could very well see a grand final on Sunday, but that very much is in the hands of these two teams. As we've talked about all season long, our new split season format, winter and spring. hREDS, as you saw, of course, are defending champions, Sin, our two-time defending champions now, winning, of course, last year as well. They won that winter season. If they win this spring season as well, we don't need to play another series on Sunday. Not only will they get the 6K euro prize for winning this tournament, they'll get an extra 10K without having to do anything else. But if SAWO wins, well, not only will we be here tomorrow, but we'll be here Sunday as well for that series. There's just so much to play for as we get to this stage. It's unbelievable that we're finally here.
Not only that, if they win, they will shake up the landscape of the ECL as we know it, being one of those teams that so many question marks going into, especially this postseason after they fell short in the first round last season. But here they are in the finals, a chance to go up against hREDS and perhaps take the crown right off their head.
You got to look at the team lineups here. These have been the 6 for both sides that have led the way all season long for SAWO Esports. It is Yerska, Moja, and Vatu. Captain Tombu on that left-hand side alongside Teemu and Nike between the pipes, the face of this season, and rightfully so after a phenomenal campaign this past winter. For the hRED side of things, Villapoika, Benito, and Nicky Dangles with Domi and King of Apes on defense and FaZe in goal. And Sin, I mean, when we get to talking about these lineups, I mean, we always start off with that center comparison, but when we get to talking about these lineups, there are so many stories, every individual, I'd say, with a story to talk about as we progress throughout here. But you got to look at the regular season numbers here. Certainly a step up as well for Moja, well over that point per game pace, but of course Benito and hREDS just on a different level. Yeah,
really. Benito is always seeming to be that guy who, especially in the last couple seasons, has carried this offense in so many ways, which is so rare for a center with the level of two-way game that he already has. And of course, he's even become stronger in the face-off dot throughout the course of the season, which is, I guess, if you could point out any sort of weakness in his game in the past, it has been that. But here he is over 50%. He's been even better in the playoffs here. And against Moja here, that's going to be a tough battle for him to come in as one of those kind of not new guys in the league, but newer in this sort of stage, and no easy task going up against Benito like that.
Indeed, and if we can get those playoff stats up for you, we will. If not, we'll move over to the winger comparison here next as we take a look at the left-hand side here, as it is Villapoika and Yerska, the battle of the left wingers. And Sin, the atmosphere continues to pick up around here. But what can you say about these two? Yerska, the rookie of the season in our winter season, where Villapoika won forward of the season, and rightfully so, and picked again right back up where he left off heading into this year.
Yeah, absolutely not. Perhaps the point's not where he wanted throughout the regular season, but there you get a look at the playoff performance from these two. Villapoika stepping up when it matters most. 21 points in those 9 games played with 12 goals and over 1 goal per game pace. That's definitely something that he's going to want to do, always finding himself in those good, high percentage scoring areas. But we know how well, SAWO can box things out, but it's going to take all 5 of them to try to contain Villapoika.
That right wing side as well, another very, very interesting matchup. Two players whose kind of careers here have mirrored each other in a sense, or maybe not. We'll throw it over to the defensive side of things, but we'll try to get that shout out for Nicky Dangles of Vatu coming up in just a little bit. But we do have the defensive comparison here, and again, I mentioned it, the captain of this team in Tombu. What a squad he's put together, and alongside Teemu, a true dynamic duo. Of course, Domi and King of Apes on the other side. All four of these guys more than capable of putting up points.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is where these games today could be decided, is on the blue lines here. And again, it'll take all 5 of the skaters to do their part and keep the teams out and really play that kind of shutdown defense that they're going to need to do to come away with this. But when you think about some of these big goals that have been scored, think no further than Teemu. He punched the ticket, really, to help this team get past Frölunda and into the finals here. So Teemu, King of Apes, Domi, Tombo, all these guys can really, put that goal in the back of the net that can be the dagger in a clutch situation.
We always cap off our head-to-heads with the Battle of the Netminders, often looked at as the most important player on the team. I mean, the puck stops with them or ultimately goes through. And you get a look at the numbers here between Nikke and FaZe so far this postseason. And certainly not the numbers Nikke would have wanted so far, but the result is what you're after, whereas FaZe has not only gotten the results, but the numbers are very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been phenomenal down the stretch here. You think that Goon series, the way he stopped Piku Roger on 2 out of 3 breakaway opportunities. Piku Roger, not a guy to miss those opportunities so often, and it's a huge part to just how good FaZe is between the pipes. And I think he hit the nail on the head. Nikke not quite where he wants to be numbers-wise, but again, think back to that Frölunda matchup. So many of those shots coming from those high percentage scoring areas, not facing a heavy volume. That might be different here against hREDS. We'll have to see.
Absolutely. So again, we are just a few moments away, really, from the first game of 2, again, that we will have here on this broadcast for you as we kick off, again, our spring season final. It's unbelievable. And again, Sid, I mean, it's interesting because in the past in these finals, we've covered the first 3 games. And that could certainly lead us to having a less than interesting second day. We've seen a couple 3-0 series leads. We have seen comebacks before, but more often than not, a lot of people like to, sign, steal, deliver. That series is done. What more do we have to do? First 2 games certainly changes the dynamic as we get a look there at SAWO Esports getting ready. And Sid, I talked about kind of the storylines that follow each of these teams. SAWO, their path, almost mirroring what we saw from hREDS not all that long ago.
Yeah, just a few short seasons ago, and we're going to hope for a better result than hREDS' first finals appearance. But, if they're able to do kind of the same thing that hREDS did, I mean, they may not, necessarily mind too much of a loss right here, but they're coming in strong. They're going to want to win. They took down Havu. They took down Frölunda. These are Titan names in the ECL Elite. They took them down, and here they are taking on hREDS, the new pedigree for success in the ECL Elite. And there you see hREDS right there, looking loose, looking ready to go there. FaZe, of course, usually pretty stoic, but seeing him loose with the boys, always a good sign. And, of course, the tallest guy has to be in the middle, King of Apes. And we knew he was tall, but getting to meet him in person, my goodness.
Intimidating presence to have to look over the screen at the other side towards, although when he puts on those glasses, maybe not as intimidating. But ultimately, Sid, I mean, again, the first ever back-to-back champions here in the ECL Elite Division with the opportunity to pick up that first ever 3-peat. And certainly with talking with them a little bit earlier on, we know that the goal is simple, trying to get this series done as fast as they possibly can. We have people here in attendance as well, expecting a larger crowd as well, of course, tomorrow as the Wilhelm Street Hockey Tour continues. And of course, we have one heck of a setup over to our other side here as that action gets underway tomorrow as well, right here from the same location. So it's going to be a very, very busy day tomorrow with everything going on with the street hockey event, of course, as we always do through ST Hockey, and of course as well with the conclusion of our series. And again, we don't know how long this weekend's going to go. It could very well move on to Sunday, which is certainly, I'd have to say, the most exciting part that we really have for this.
I mean, really, there's no better location than this. If we, have to stay here for longer than possible, if it's a full 7-game series with a 7-game grand final, I would not, I wouldn't want to be in any other place than right here. Street hockey rinks below us, a beautiful city around us.
Yeah.
My casting partner for the last 3 years right by my side. I mean, this is an incredible situation to be in.
It's been a long time coming, everybody, and of course it's been a long time coming for this type of matchup as well. The new blood in SAWO looking to take that step up to a now dominant force. And as we've discussed so many times on broadcast, it really wasn't all that long ago that the word was, oh, it's Frölunda/Philadelphia, whatever they were to be called at the time, or it's Havu, unless, they break apart. hREDS proved that to be false, and now SAWO trying to stop that narrative in hREDS' favor to say, no one else is going to win until they break up. SAWO has a chance here. Like you said, they knocked off teams with an incredible pedigree en route to this final. So again, we have so much to talk about, so much to discuss throughout this weekend, including as well our awards, as we always hand out at the end of the season. A big shout out, of course, this time out. We elected to open up the voting to the public on sportsgamer.gg. And again, we have our 6. And starting things off with the comeback player of the season, by definition, Sin, someone who didn't play in Elite the prior season for one reason or another. And you get a look at the 5 finalists there. Keskatalo of Goons, Pikari of Urabro Hockey, Yippee Voskala's Sile, Pirza of Stargazing, of course, who made their way up to the Elite Division this season, and Gina returned as well for Conquer Gaming this year. Honestly, there's an argument for all 5 of these guys.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really thinking of Sile too. You know, it's been such a mainstay with that, you know, in the Elite for so long with the Yippee Voskala squad or otherwise here. And I mean, Pirza as well. You know, he kind of had a cup of coffee, you could so to speak, you know, in that Elite division. But we always kind of, you know, liked him. You know, he just maybe wasn't in the correct situation with Stargazing, perhaps. You know, working his way back into the Elite division. You know, definitely has a chance to come out on top here.
Absolutely. So of course we'll be listing the winners of these awards throughout the next 2 days. And the winners of Comeback Player of the Season, Keskatalo of Goons. And what a return it was to the Elite Division for him. Incredibly impressive. And, of course, Goons so close, yet they'll feel so far from making it here to this final. But they put up a great fight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Goons continue to get better here. They continue to impress in this Elite Division. They continue to not only get better as individuals, but make those tweaks to the lineup, like, you know, to really kind of catapult them to that next level. And against Goons this season, winning that first game, it really made things interesting. All the close ones, of course, the overtimes. They still haven't been able to win a game in overtime against hREDS in the postseason, which is a daunting task to say the least. But they keep making these moves in the right direction. I think we could see them here on this kind of stage extremely soon.
Same narrative was there for SAWO, and then all of a sudden, well, there you see them. They are here. Again, the opportunity. You have Mosier already kind of handing out the L. He's the one sitting across from King of Apes, I do believe, as well. But just such an interesting situation for these 2 teams in completely different spots at this stage of their, of their kind of journeys here within the ECL Elite Division. Again, as we talked about, hREDS now looking for that 3-peat. First team to win 2 in a row. What if they're the first team to win 3 in a row? And SAWO not only getting out of the first round after a major disappointment in our winter season, but they make it all the way here to the final. That is the step forward that they were looking to make.
Absolutely. You know, you could argue that they, I mean, even on paper, they had the toughest path to get here. I mean, they started out 2-0 against Havu, and then second day of the matchup, a little bit of trouble as Havu stormed back to tie that series up, and then back and forth against Frölunda, who everyone had pegged to make it to that finals. It was kind of, that was the new El Clasico, hREDS and Frölunda, but SAWO said, nope, we're going to make that all the way. Won an incredible Game 7, and here we are.
From 16 teams down to 8, and now our final 2, the championship round is here. And again, as we mentioned, a 6K Euro prize pool at stake for the team that wins this final series. If it is SAWO, as again you see them there, if it is them, we will be here on Sunday as well. If it is hREDS, though, of course, they walk away with a whole lot of money, not having to play that Grand Championship Series. And you know, I think that's been an interesting point of contention. You know, the idea of the Grand Final, I'm a big fan of it personally. It's tough to be mad at hREDS if they stop us from seeing that, because it's just a whole different level of dominance that would really kind of see that event not take place.
Yeah, absolutely. They are really becoming the face of Six's esports, at least in Europe, if not kind of creeping over into other regions here. They are really what kind of separates the men from the boys, essentially, for lack of a better word or term for it. I mean, they are the line to get to. They are the team to topple, and good luck to anyone who tries. As much as we want to see a grand final, it's hard to bet against them.
So again, live from Helsinki, no place we'd rather be. You know, it's been a long time coming to get to this stage, but certainly very, very happy to be here. Game 1 coming up in just a matter of moments, and heading into this first game is really kind of where it gets interesting, because we saw Goons win that first game against hREDS, but just not be able to capitalize, you really do have to take it one game at a time.
You do, and you have to come out in that first game exceptionally strong. You have to try to take control early, as we saw Goons do, at least try to push hREDS back onto their heels, because if hREDS get control of that game from puck drop, you're not going to be able to wrestle that away from them, plain and simple. They are a team who, when you have to play into them, they are nearly unbeatable, no matter who we've seen them go up against, trying to get across that blue line when you've got King of Apes, Domi all lined up, even all the forwards there. It is just extremely tough, and we'll see what happens here. Puck drop just moments away.
Whether you're joining us live on twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG or live here with us, we thank you. Regardless, game one underway. The ECL Elite Division Spring Season Final. Will it be a three-peat for hREDS, or will SAWO really kind of, you know, I mean, with the logo and such, maybe you could say they'd be ruffling some feathers within the scene if they're able to get the win here. This puck, though, back to the neutral zone, and they'll be forced to reset. And Sin, that's really the key that we're looking for here in this matchup, is the battle of the blue lines and how well these teams are able to stifle one another. And a great example there by hREDS preventing that zone entry.
Absolutely, as an early offside here will lead to a face-off, but I do like that, you know, a little bit of a possession time for SAWO, get some of the nerves out, handle the puck a little bit, make some passes. They didn't cross the blue line with efficiency, but they might do it here as Yurska and Batu trying to get in there on the forecheck, but hREDS on the breakout the other way.
Benito can't find that space down the middle of the ice. Great secondary pressure there by Nicky Dangles, of course. We were going to make that comparison as well when talking about Nicky Dangles in that winger matchup. The evolution of his game from this offensive threat to one of the most dynamic two-way players that we have. And we've seen a similar evolution this season between the wingers for SAWO, both Yurska and Batu really stepping up.
Yeah, absolutely. They were scary last season. This year, they're absolutely dangerous. You know, their two-way games have improved a whole lot. Far from, you know, just trying to force those turnovers, are now really excellent in the collapse.
Off the face-off here, loose puck recovered. SAWO going to look to go down the other way. A little trouble there. Great job by Villapoika to win this one back. Now it's Domi. A loose puck over to the far side. SAWO will recover. These breakouts key in this matchup and whether or not they can gain the zone. And so far, hREDS able to shut them down pretty effective.
Absolutely. The possession time is nice right here, but you're just seeing no space. They try a little drop pass play, but Villapoika immediately snuffs that out, tries to take it back the other way. We're seeing a lot of changes of possession here. I wouldn't say either team playing careful, but just not a whole lot of time and space yet.
A little bit of room there, perhaps, in the second you think you have it. King of Apes able to take it away. Opportunity here. Perhaps Vatu across. The defense recovers. Penalty is called, though. And we'll have our first power play of this final, as it will be Villapoika to the box.
You can see just how dangerous SAWO can be in those kind of situations. Their first real clean zone entry, their first chance attempt, they're able to kind of pull out, draw a penalty off of hREDS. And, you know, we've seen it before. hREDS can get into some penalty trouble here and there. SAWO have got to be good about making them pay for their mistakes.
That series against Goons in our semifinal, at times that rock-solid defense of Domi and King of Apes did look human. It's not often the case for them, certainly, but let's see what happens here on this power play. Unfortunately for them, not, again, able to gain that line. So difficult against a team like hREDS.
Yeah, that's really just what it comes down to, even with the man advantage. If the second you lose that zone on that power play, you have to work extra hard just to get back in there. We're seeing SAWO struggle with that right now, but this is a strength of hREDS. This is how they built their team. They made that decision 3 seasons ago, kind of after being bested by now Frölunda in the finals, and they decided we're going to be the best all-around team. And 2 championships later, their 3rd appearance here now, they're looking to keep that streak going.
Power play nearly done. The final 30 seconds. hREDS certainly locked in on this initial penalty kill. We're halfway through the first period of game number 1. Mosier across for Yurska, wanted that blocker's side. Went over the top of the net. Puck unable to be cleared. Teemu kept it in. Vatu couldn't get the shot off. And now space for hREDS down the other way. Villapoika tried to sauce one in front. Good bit of defense there by Tombo to take that away. Now down the other way here for SAWO. Teemu shot on, and a good stop by FaZe. Domi loses it in the double team. Good movement here for SAWO. Errant pass, recovered for the moment. Handled well there by King of Apes. Offside there against hREDS down the other way.
Really liking SAWO's game so far. We really haven't seen hREDS have any time on attack that's look incredibly dangerous by any means. And really at this point, SAWO's doing what we needed them or expected them to try to do to gain an advantage, and that's really dictating the pace of play. It's hard to do against hREDS, but here they are in possession once again, looking for the breakout. Gotta be cognizant of that forecheck coming out from Nicky Dangles. Here he is again.
Nikke has it one more time at the point. Domi trying to go down low. Good cycle here. Defense stands tall. Nikke able to make that save. 4:52 on the clock here in the first period. Still without the opening goal.
Yeah, that was an interesting chance right there. Villapoica just on the doorstep gets a nice little backhand on. Not particularly dangerous, but a save that Nikke, had to make in that situation.
Tame with that big outlet pass up for Vatu. Yerska again just not able to find any space. Vatu now, secondary opportunity, he scores! The opening goal of this final goes to SAWO Yerska, finding the back of the net. Sin, what a great play for them.
Absolutely important. They couldn't come away with nothing after all the possession and zone time that they were getting. Beautiful bit of patience coming out from Vatu, threading the needle across. Yerska on the back tour, getting behind FaZe right there, who slid over as best as he could, but too little, too late. SAWO 1-0 here in the first.
4 minutes to go. A big moment there for SAWO, finding that initial breakthrough. Problem, of course, you think you have hREDS on the back foot. It often doesn't go that way. There will be an icing call here, and immediately you have to be aware of the numerous face-off plays that the hREDS squad really have in their arsenal.
Absolutely, and it doesn't take any kind of special set for them to get going either. They could pull it out of pretty much anywhere. You see the tie-up right there. It's too much of a jumble, but once again, SAWO coming away with possession, and can't help but think they're really getting the advantage here.
Yoska again down low, wanted Moja. He recovers in the corner. Goes back to the point, DDD, one-timer and a good save there by FaZe. Had to be on alert here through the second half of this first period. We're nearly down to the final minute. hREDS known for some late goals, but Nicky Dangles' pass off the mark. They will recover the puck and have one more opportunity here. Go down the other way. Space for Villapoica. He goes across. Poke check. Throws one off the netminder there once again. Still holding it down low. Final 6 seconds. King of Apes. Wanted Benito in front. It's broken up. Apes is able to keep it in. Gets the shot, but it goes wide. The opening 20 minutes in the books. SAWO striking off of this goal here from Yerska. It's 1-0.
And really, this is exactly what we really wanted to see from SAWO here. Beautiful. Just with that handedness, gave him the angle that he needed. He's able to sneak that one home. Absolutely massive for SAWO here. And the most important part, they weathered the storm after hREDS. You knew they're going to try to create some kind of a pushback. SAWO didn't let them gain really any ground right here. They maintained the lead. They really kind of outpossessed them. You see the time on attack in the zone, very close, but it wasn't, to me, the offensive zone that really won that period for SAWO was their work in the neutral zone. Not afraid to take their time, not afraid to get those zone exits they wanted as well as the zone entries. There's a couple times where it looked perhaps a bit dangerous with Nicky Dangles on that forecheck, creating some turnovers, but that's the thing. SAWO becomes such a good defensive team, more than just a pure collapse. Their collapse is strong, but it's their quickness in getting back into position that really gives them the edge right there. As we got another quick look at that goal coming out from Yerska there, a little bit of a more user-friendly angle as we prepare for this second period.
Indeed, the second period underway. Again, the action, as always, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm Kopenlakertse and ST Hockey. Again, tomorrow, Nicky Dangles, great chance there. Tomorrow, of course, the event's taking place right here in this exact location. What a great set of saves there. hREDS determined not to let me get a word in edgewise.
No, they said save your plugs for another time. We're trying to tie this game up right here, wasting no time early on in the second, applying the pressure here. Good face-off win from Moja. Bit of a dangerous pass, but they're able to work that out.
Sierska not able to gain that zone clean. That was a great job by Nicky Dangles. Good thing I didn't start to really plug those other events. He would have cut me off one more time, but of course, all the information you need, as always, sportsgamer.gg. Pay attention to the socials as well, everywhere at sportsgamer.gg. Great job there by Domi. His pass, though, a bit off the mark. A lot of quick changes in possession. Nervous moment there. Still struggling to hold on to it, and finally, SAWO look to settle this one down.
A bit of a bouncing puck situation. Interesting pass to the middle. It looked like a shot right there, but it worked. Oh, big intercept from Villapoika. Look at a 2-on-1 coming the other way.
Villapoika ahead of steam. Going to try to drive. Throws one on. Good save by Nike. Combo again. Jurska can't get that pass away. hREDS keep it in the attacking zone. Good bit of physicality thrown in front. SAWO's there to defend it, but this one's going to go all the way back down for icing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the strength right there of that SAWO defense. We know that hREDS, a lot of their offense can come from behind that net. Nicky Dangles is an absolute magician from back there. The problem is with the strength of SAWO's collapse and everyone kind of being in a position where they want to be, that first pass may not connect.
Off the draw, set play, glove, save by Nike to keep that one out. Remember, that save keeps it 1-0 for SAWO.
Absolutely, there's definitely some space there on that glove side, but he's able to snag that, get another face-off here, but hREDS really starting to push here in this second period.
Face-offs as well, now 9-4 for SAWO, tough break there. As Jurska not able to handle that one clean. See what Villapoika can do now as he has this one in his own zone. SAWO really starting to amp up that attacking zone pressure. Doing a good job there of keeping hREDS from getting anything going. They're in the attacking zone themselves now, at least momentarily. That one finds a way through to Villapoika. Nicky Dangles back for King of Apes, back again, rebound, scores! A classic play from hREDS. Havoc in front. Benito finds the back of the net. We're tied at 1.
And not only havoc in front, but beautiful passing across that neutral zone. The saucer pass all the way up, the stretch pass to Villapoika. He gets it. Drop pass to Nicky Dangles, who feeds it across the King of Ape. Back to Nicky Dangles. Shot on, and Benito down low cleans up the trash. A huge goal here to tie this one up 1-1.
About halfway through the game, we're right back where we started. A tie game here, 1-1. Here in game number 1, again, of this best-of-7 final. Games 1 and 2 right here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for the rest of this series, no matter how long it goes. That's up to the team, certainly. SAWO in control one more time here. A lot of quick changes in possession, not all that surprising. Got to be frustrating a little bit for the players here, though, as we have another offside.
Yeah, absolutely, and SAWO's advantage you can see kind of slowly slipping away as hREDS continue to get more and more possession time, and with this game tied, this is where you sort of feel that tide beginning to shift back in favor of hREDS, and that red wave is coming in, it's coming quick to swallow you up. They're in possession once again looking for that entry.
Taken away there by SAWO, but another free possession here for hREDS as they're now in that spot of trying to gain the zone entry. Rocketed pass. Benito for Villapoika goes across. Second chance. They score. The captain leading the way, Sin. 2-0. Both goals coming off of his stick, and that's what happens with hREDS. You think you have them backed into a corner, and they turn things around that quickly.
Absolutely. It was such a good start from SAWO, and all of a sudden, 2 goals later, hREDS right back in the driver's seat. King of Apes there putting on the sunglasses. He says, deal with it. We have the lead now. Benito, what a performance right here. It's what you expect from the captain, and he's stepping up here to pull his team back into the driver's seat, and now it's up to SAWO for the response. They look for the dump and chase.
We always talk about how crucial those responses are. Mistake made. Jurska nearly got that one on the short side. Combo at the point here. Back for Jurska. Across Vatu. Immediately hounded by the members of hREDS. And again, it's Villapoika with the speed down the other way. Domi for Nicky Dangles. Wanted Benito. Natural hat trick perhaps in play. 3 in a row here in the same period. Be one heck of a way to start off a finals effort. It's Teemu now. Able to get that up to Jurska. Tried to throw one on. Blocked by King of Apes. Who continues to battle for it down low. Loose puck. Nervous moments here for hREDS. They survive the scare and at least get the puck out of the zone momentarily. And I was going to say into the attacking end, but having to fight for every bit of ice. They work it back to the point. D to D. That shot. Great save by Nike. The puck's still in trouble. Tombu tries to get it out. Finds Jurska. Final 8 seconds of this period. One more chance here for hREDS. Villapoika shot blocked. Second chance. He scores! with 2 seconds to go. Make it 3 unanswered goals for hREDS here in the second period. And the champions with a bit of a statement made here for a comeback effort.
Absolutely a 3-goal period here for them. I mean, absolutely unreal job. Really, SAWO may have thought that they got out of the woods there. They sent the puck around the boards. It was just sort of skated out of the zone by Yerska. And you thought, okay, maybe that's it. They're going to head to, this next period only down. But my goodness, what a performance from hREDS right there. That was a beautiful play on the rush. They had the numbers, a bit of a 3-on-2 right there. They made the perfect passes and capitalized on it with 2 seconds left. I think the clock said 1 there at the end, but nevertheless, with just seconds remaining, so many times we've seen hREDS do that kind of thing, get those kind of huge, huge goals, and they did it once again right there. And look at the swing that just happened in that period. 2 minutes of time on attack in that period alone for hREDS, picking up all those goals, now tripling the shot output of SAWO on a period-to-period basis. Sure, SAWO may have won most of that first period, but in that second period, that was the championship hREDS coming out and saying, this is our event, this is our title to defend, and you're going to have to pry it from our cold, dead hands, essentially, SAWO.
This is a big moment here for that team. A 1-0 lead now turns into a 3-1 deficit as we head into the third period. In game 1, best of 7 for this particular series. A 6K euro prize pool at stake. If SAWO were to win this series, it would all lead to Sunday in our first ever grand final with an extra 10K at stake. And we'll see if that is to happen, but certainly easier said than done to win 4 games against hREDS, even if you have 7 games to do it.
Absolutely, but SAWO, a really good pushback right here. Oh, almost getting the zone, but Tamu does keep it in.
Yerska's shot, that deflected just wide. Covered there by Vatu. His pass picked off down low. King of Apes is able to fight for that one. Vatu again, just nowhere to go. Good job there, though, by SAWO. But again, time is of the essence. 16 minutes to go, Sim. But as we know, that's going to go by very, very quickly.
Absolutely, and here is where that the blue line stand comes in so clutch because, yes, SAWO can reset. Yes, they can try to get those other looks, but that's precious seconds ticking away off of the clock here, and that's just how hREDS like it as you see them now back in possession. What a zone entry.
Domi again back down low. They want Benito. They want that hat trick. Nicky Dangles on the backhand. He goes down low. That pass off the mark. It sends SAWO down the other way, and again, only momentarily. As hREDS, they got caught on the back foot once so far in this game, giving up that opening goal. But since then, again, that rock-solid defense that we've come to expect.
Absolutely. We've seen a couple slow starts from SAWO here throughout this playoffs. Usually it's a slow first game, but in this one, first period, they say, no more of that. They responded immediately here. But this is a good chance for SAWO. Offensive zone draw. We'll see if they want to put all out of the hat.
Off the face-off here. Loose puck back up for grabs and out to the neutral zone. See again if SAWO can break in just like that, down to 12 minutes. Taking 2 goals to tie this one up, and at the same time, you try to hold off the attack of hREDS, needing those 2 goals, almost impossible. It's been done, but it is a rare feat. This one down low, out of the reach of Villapoika. Still fought on for by King of Apes. Great job there. Hounding the puck was Yerska. Vatu was with him. Now it's Moja down low. Vatu's there. Contact by Domi to take it away. And a big outlet pass. Villapoika, help arriving, gets it back. Big glove save by Nike. And a quick play out trying to get it going down the other way. And unfortunately there, hREDS just a little bit too wise to that approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost seems like they were more ready for it than SAWO was.
Yerska's drop pass. Tombu has it. Has to send it over to the far side corner. Moja. Again for Vatu. Moja can't hold on to it. A little bit of trouble there for FaZe as he couldn't handle it. Was nearly poked in. SAWO, not the beneficiaries of that bounce, though. 6.5 to play. We said the time would go by fast. SAWO's still in need of 2. They haven't scored since the first period. As Vatu has it here. Tries to go back to Yerska. Moja scores! Sin, sometimes maybe better to be lucky than good. There was some luck involved in that, but at the same time, he's in the right spot to make the play, and that's what counts.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bounce, but of course you see him opening up wide, goes to the net, realizes the puck's not going there, and opens himself up wide as someone else fills the lane that he was just previously in. Brilliantly done by Moja right now, and that's why SAWO just cut that deficit back to 1. 5:34 remaining here in the third period. It's about to get real interesting down the stretch here.
The narrative completely changes. SAWO within 1. Shot from Teemu deflects wide. Kept in here. Yerska again back for Tombu. Wanted that one-timer. Yerska tried to throw one on. Goes all the way to the far side and all the way back to the SAWO zone.
Definitely not what you wanted to see. You don't want to lose the zone right here when you notice it's just not, obviously they're having such trouble gaining those clean entries more often than not, but they do again momentarily, but
held in here. Just watching the pucks in.
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's been so many quick possession changes, it's tough to tell who's going to come up with the puck at any given opportunity. We're down to the final 2 minutes. Puck, again, up for grabs in one of those situations. hREDS have it now. They go around the back of the net. Domi pinching up on this attempt. Benito can't get that shot off. We approach the final minutes. Here in the first period, hREDS nearly found the goal to seal that one. I think Dangles ran out of space. It's Teemu's pass off the mark, still fighting for it. Vatu has it. Tries to go down low. Be held in by Yerska, now in the corner. Moja around the back of the net. 40 seconds to play. A puck knocked loose. SAWO's going to have to get a little bit aggressive here, and they do. Great job by Tombu. Yerska, though, again, just couldn't hold on to it. Now down to 25, it's Villapoika. In the corner, gets it down low. hREDS might just be willing to try to kill the clock here. A little bit of trouble. It is SAWO in control. Down the other way. Big reach by King of Apes to take it away. 12 seconds. hREDS dump it in. One more chance for SAWO to try and force overtime. They're offside with 6.3 to go.
That was their one chance. The slap pass off the boards got around right there, but unfortunately a bit of a miscommunication at the line. As in that situation, you kind of have to jam forward past the blue line. The pass just simply didn't go to Vatu.
Big face off here, off the draw. Teemu for Moja, elected not to put one on, and that will be it. hREDS battle backs, and they were down 1-0, but they win this one 3-2, and the champions doing what they do, winning in a final situation. It's been a long time since they've lost here in the finals, and they get the job done here yet again, all business.
Yeah, absolutely, and really, that's just kind of a taste of what maybe to come here for SAWO. They know it's going to be uphill battle, but we saw them battle back right there. I think there's just a little bit too much indecisiveness at times there at the end. I think Moja needed to rip that shot there. He looked for that one more pass to the middle, probably either for Yerska, maybe Vatu sliding over there, someone there to rip that shot. I think in that situation, you just got to rip that one on, maybe low, maybe try to beat face straight up, but either way, on net, everyone crashes there because they didn't have a whole lot of time left. You saw when that puck went in the corner, Yerska didn't even have time to rip that shot away, so Moja, where he was, maybe had 2-3 seconds to work with, I think needs to shoot in that situation, but elected to pass instead, and who's to say what would have happened, but those are just kind of the moments that you might look back on at the end of the day and wish you could have back.
So a big result in game number 1. hREDS are two-time defending champions, getting the victory here in this first contest of this best of 7. Sin, it started off so strong there for SAWO, but they just weren't able to find those insurance goals. I mean, they got one late in the third period, but by that point, you could argue it was too little too late.
Yeah, and that's the danger. They got down a bit too much against that hREDS squad, and we saw hREDS playing the game that they want to play. Yeah. Come at us, you have to go up against our blue line stand, and that's the tough situation. Again, it was that rough kind of start for hREDS, something that we've almost kind of been weirdly getting used to in the playoffs, them having a kind of a rough first game, but it actually only lasted a period as SAWO simply couldn't compound that advantage.
Absolutely. So again, game number 1 in the books. Game 2, our final game of the night, coming up here, and we'll see whether or not it will be a 2-0 series lead for hREDS heading into the action tomorrow, or if it'll essentially be a best of 5 at that point. It's all up to SAWO and what we're going to see from them. We'll throw it over to a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Stick with us. Again, game 2 coming up. All right, everybody, and we are back. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us here at Sports Gamers. Again, we present and kick off the ECL Elite Division finals here on a Sports Gamer again. Sin, this tournament really kind of setting the stage. The best competitive EA NHL players in this scene. Some could certainly argue in the world, especially when we're talking about our champions in hREDS. This is the biggest stage, I would say, that we have, of course, when it comes to the 6v6 game, which, of course, brings about its own different challenges and certainly, I'd say, raises the stakes just a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is really the best of the best when it comes to team-oriented NHL esports. Obviously, there's a 1v1 scene, but the 6v6 here in Europe especially is absolutely massive. And again, this is kind of what a lot of these players look forward to season after season, is being on a stage like this. And again, finally back in a live setting on land. It's just been terrific.
It's a rare moment here in Helsinki as the sun starts to fall a little bit. It doesn't get that much more dark than this around this time of year. But, of course, the lights are on bright, not just on us, but on these players as well. So, again, Game 2 coming up in just a matter of moments. Again, that €6K prize pool at stake here, Sin. Talk about the lights being on bright and what they're playing for. We've talked about it a couple of times here on this broadcast already. So much to be played for here, not just in this series, but we talked about it. hREDS, as the winner of our spring season, they would have a spot in the grand final if necessary. It's up to SAWO to win this spring season title. If hREDS wins this, again, they walk away. You see that grand total there at the end for the #1 position across the board. 22 grand.
Yes.
If they win this series, that is secured out of the gates. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it absolutely is for really, a half a year's work for that team. It's absolutely massive for them, and really these are the stakes, and again, this is as high as it really gets, in the sixes scene when you look across from all the tournaments, either across the pond or here in the EU scene. I mean, this is the elite of the elite here at the ECL at Sports Gamer, and yeah, that's a lot of money, and, both these teams looking to kind of get their hands on a bit of that, but if hREDS have anything to say about it, they're going to walk away with that extra 10 grand without having to play another game.
Absolutely. So, again, that is what we are here to decide. Our first game of this best of 7 is in the books. A 3-2 victory for hREDS in that first game really sets the tone now, Sin, for what we might see in this second game, because we always talk about the responses, not just within the game, but what we might see in the next game after that. A 2-0 deficit against hREDS, very, very difficult to come back from. It's early enough in the series that you don't exactly want to say it's a must-win for SAWO Esports, but in a sense, I mean, their job would certainly be a little bit easier, if you can call it that, heading into tomorrow if they get a win right now in Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I would go as far as to call it a must-win game, because if you go down 2-0 against hREDS, you are going to have a very hard time in coming back, and the response here from SAWO has to be massive. They have to kind of channel what they did in that first period and let that carry over into the rest of the game, kind of lock down hREDS a bit. Maybe they got that first goal of the way, maybe relaxed a bit. I think in this case they have to continue to stay on their toes. When you think about kind of the shots that they had at the end of that second period, they still only had 3 registered shots on net. They got to be a little bit more hungry, a little bit more desperate here in this game too. In this game too. It's the final game of tonight's broadcast, but again, we will be back tomorrow for the remaining games, however many they may be. But the teams are ready here for a puck drop. hREDS looking to take a commanding 2-0 series lead, and SAWO looking for that split to head into tomorrow back on even footing.
Arguably the two best teams in the Euro scene going head-to-head here. Of course, as always, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need to follow along with everything that we have encompassing Sports Gamer. Of course, not just the NHL scene, the FIFA scene as well. Always so much going on. Find us everywhere, essentially on social media, of course, at sportsgamer.gg. Plenty of ways to follow and get involved. Again, these are the two best teams at the moment. It is hREDS in their road whites, looking to take that 2-0 series lead. SAWO, it's crucial not only to get that first goal, but to really be able to compound that, and that's a great save by FaZe for hREDS to keep SAWO off the board early.
Absolutely, another great start here for SAWO. Yurska really on that short side, trying to get that by FaZe, but FaZe being unfazed as he always is, playing that angle perfectly, keeping that one out. Nice face-off win from Benito. A little bit of trouble behind the net, Domi, but able to work that out now as King of Apes is in possession.
course, face-offs went the way of SAWO. Mosier did a great job there. They just weren't able to translate that into success in that first game. Good poke check there. Mosier trying to keep this puck alive. Does for the moment. It was great back pressure there by Nicky Dangles. Keep hREDS in it.
I like that little move Teemu attempted right there. A little bit of a stop and go to throw off the forechecker. Almost worked. He just kind of lost the puck, but freight train coming through. Heads up.
You know, you'll often see a penalty called on that, but sometimes, especially in playoff hockey, you got to put the whistles away, let the boys play, as they say. That was indeed a huge hit there from Domi as Nicky Dangles tried to find Villapoika on that far side. He was unable to do so. It's been a similar story so far in this one. Neither team really able to gain that offensive foothold here in the first period.
Yeah, SAWO not really getting the best of the possession to the extent that they were in that previous game in the first period. They had that great chance early on here, but it sort of evened itself out here down the stretch. And the more that kind of happens, the more you kind of hold your breath for SAWO here. They need to find a way to kind of gain an advantage. They're the team here who has to prove themselves in this situation against the two-time champs.
There's Mosier, a bit of space. They wanted an extra pass. Batu's attempt doesn't pay off. Teemu, though, trying to win that one back. He was the big addition to this club up in the Final Five for transfer of the season. He might just win that award a little bit later on in the broadcast. Here come hREDS, though, with some good offensive zone time, getting some chances. Now a bit of an opportunity down the other way. Mosier back to Vatu, trying to keep King of Apes on the off foot. That one clipped the post and stays out. Another close call for SAWO.
A little bit of good transition game coming out from SAWO right there. A mini 3-on-1. They had a lot of back pressure coming up from the back check. They tried a lot of quick passes there to try to spread up some space and get the shot. They just couldn't put it in the back of the net.
hREDS again in possession. 12 minutes gone here in this first period. Zierska has it again. Immediately finds himself with nowhere to go. Mistake there by King of Apes. Can SAWO make him pay? Teemu's shot. Rebound was there. Another chance. Still puck alive. Just out of the reach of Vatu. That's Villapoika for hREDS. Over the line. Takes the hit, but makes the play. Round the back of the net now. He dangles. Good patience in the corner. Finds the captain, Benito, down low. Stripped to the puck by Teemu. 5 minutes left now in this first period. Talk about the importance of the first goal. It didn't necessarily pay off in game number one, but an extra goal here again could be huge. Both these teams playing for so much in the immediate future. Again, €6K prize pool that we have here. And of course, if we make it to Sunday, right here live, of course. So much more as well. Could be up for grabs. Domi has this one now. That shot interrupted. 2 minutes to go now in the first period. hREDS doing a good job getting this zone time. That shot bouncing around. A little bit of trouble. Teemu able to get it out of there. Aldo again back for Teemu. Good play just out of the reach of Zierska, who nearly got a free possession.
Good job by SAWO. A little bit of damage control right here, but they're really getting hemmed in at times. And when they do get those zone entries cleanly, their passing plays are really good, but it's their execution after they get that zone entry, after they make the initial first, pass or two, when they get themselves near a scoring position, they simply can't get that last one. You saw a few minutes ago, they tried to drop back to the trailer, hit a one-timer. They couldn't quite do it. As hREDS win this faceoff, will likely kill off the rest of the period as they send that one out. It's maybe even trying to go for a late goal once again in that one, but no such success as the defense from SAWO stops them. We go into the break, 0-0, but yeah, it's just that follow-up execution right now from SAWO that's really lacking. That first chance, again, was pretty good. They had some other ones that they got, relatively close with, but I don't think we're going to see a really impressive registered shots number for SAWO here once again. And you think back to that previous game, after two, they only had those 3 registered shots at that point. Kind of feel like they're going to need to rip it a bit more. They do have 4 in this period, while hREDS actually registered 0. So, I mean, that's a pretty big first step for SAWO at the end of the day, but you play this kind of game against hREDS, sort of a plotting style, and if you're looking for quality over quantity, you got to figure hREDS have the advantage in that situation.
Second period about ready to begin here. Again, the action, as always, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Koblenz Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. Again, sportsgamer.gg as well for all the information you need. And, of course, the weekend of events that we have here, of course. ST Hockey, their event going on right here beside us tomorrow. Going to be fantastic to be able to watch that. And then, of course, as well, you add the remainder of this series to the docket. So much to play for here in this series alone, and of course so much to play for the street hockey teams tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, as we're going to see an offensive zone draw coming out from hREDS, an early icing, not doing SAWO any favors here to try to get the momentum back in their hands. They are getting the face-off advantage. Once again, Moja comes up big. Nice transition here.
Over the blue line here. Here's Teemu stepping in. His shot stopped by FaZe. Still has the puck. Wraparound goes through the blue paint, but doesn't find its way into the back of the net.
FaZe once again in good position, but I really love that coming out from SAWO. That's a decisive face-off play right there to gain some momentum and gain an attack right there. Teemu wasted no time jetting into that offensive zone.
Again, arguably the two best teams in the competitive Euro scene going head-to-head here within EA NHL 22. And, of course, then we talk about sixes, emphasizing the teamwork and the chemistry that you need to have. And it's not just on the offensive side of things, as we've seen so far in this series. It's on the defensive side of things as well. Both teams causing a lot of headaches for the opposition in terms of just trying to get into the offensive zone.
Absolutely, and we saw that oftentimes when SAWO played Frölunda there, as Frölunda was struggling in a lot of regards to really get to the areas that they wanted, whether that was on the blue line, but mostly it was in the zone, as the collapse from SAWO was so strong. Benito not taking no for an answer, getting that one and keeping it alive in the O zone for his team.
There's Domi down for Villapoika, wanted that wraparound. Great defense again. The captain, Tambu, able to make that play. Still looking for the opening goal of game number 2 for those that missed it. hREDS taking that first game of this best-of-7 series, 3-2. The final score in that one. And hREDS are two-time defending champions here. Great chance there, but again, the defense able to hold on for SAWO ESPORTS. Of course, in their home, black unis in this one. Space now for Villapoika. Wanted to go over for Benito, and again, the defense for both sides denying these opportunities at the last possible moment. Good kick save there by FaZe to send that rebound into unreachable territory for the opposition. We have a strong net drive here. Nicky Dangles in front, doesn't go. Let's see what Benito can do. Hands it off for Domi. His shot hits the traffic in front. Trip is called, and another trip is going to be called. It's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for SAWO here. Yeah, and we can hear the players from below us right now getting absolutely amped. SAWO know how big of an opportunity this is. That's 2 stick fouls in quick succession. That's Benito going to the box, as well as Nicky Dangles. Arguably 2 of their best two-way players. Of course, they still have Domi and King of Apes out there. But that being said, this is a 5-on-3 advantage. SAWO have to strike. Ooh, it was Benito and Domi instead. Perhaps, no offense to Nicky Dangles, but an even bigger loss. To see someone like Domi off the ice, that's a good initial block. SAWO, you want to look for quality, but you still have to get shots on that one just wide. Batu can't pick it up, and it's sent all the way down. Huge moment for hREDS as we hit the midway point of this game. Quick thumbs from Villapoika right there to pick that one up, and in one motion backhanded out of the zone, and SAWO with a couple errant passes, wasting some valuable time. They gain the line here, though. Moja back for Teemu. Yerska's shot just wide. Batu down low, good movement here. Tambu for Yerska. Good shot just wide on the glove side. Nicky Dangles has it and clears, and hREDS survive. An incredible scare here midway through the second. Absolutely huge penalty kill coming out from them. We'll see how much momentum that gains them to go down the stretch. A nice attempt right there from SAWO to gain that puck back, but they were offside. But that's one of those moments, again, where SAWO may be looking back and wondering what could we have done more to kind of capitalize in that situation. They didn't score on a 5-on-3 advantage. It remains scoreless, and the more opportunities you give hREDS to get that initial advantage, the scarier it becomes. Good battle there between Domi and Moja, who's not giving up on the play. Yerska for Teemu, it's blocked. Second chance, and another stop by FaZe. We always talk about that, Sin. The team in front of FaZe is so good, but this is a man in goal for hREDS. An opportunity there, and a good stop by Nikke down the other way. It's so difficult when you play hREDS just to get chances, and then you have to beat arguably the best goaltender in the world in a competitive sense here within NHL 22. He is absolutely incredible, and perhaps has another Goaltender of the Year award coming his way as soon as tomorrow.
Absolutely here, as you see the attack coming up from SAWO, creating a little bit of havoc in the end of hREDS here, but I like what we're seeing a bit from SAWO in this period, getting back to those high slot shots.
King of Apes can't get that shot off. Atu was there to stifle him. To the attacking zone goes SAWO. And another penalty is called. Interference is the call. It will be King of Apes, the right defender for hREDS, going to the box, and another opportunity on the power play now for SAWO Esports.
Absolutely, this is where hREDS have gotten themselves into trouble in the past. They just let those penalties continue to kind of compound on them. It's only a 5-on-4 this time, but again, if the last one wasn't must score, you got to feel like at this point, SAWO, we said it in the pregame, you have to make them pay for their mistakes.
These two teams playing for a lot of money, a lot of pride, a lot of bragging rights, as you might expect. A lot of chirping in a league like this. Here goes Villapoika. Does he have the space? He does! He scores! Short-handed goal. Villapoika gives hREDS the lead. It's 1-0 late in the second period.
What a transition there from Villapoika. Just speed, speed, speed. You can see Tumbu there just really trying to get his stick in the way, maybe even trip him at a certain point before the blue line, but Villapoika was simply gone, beats Nike there, and that was a situation where I think it was just one pass too many right there. I think Jurska tried to go, you know, kind of a back up to the top on the defense, but you can't continue to do that against hREDS for too long because they will always find a way to make you pay. They did right there, short-handed no less, and SAWO just really kind of feeling like they're reeling from their opportunities here.
Turnover here, Benito for Nicky Dangles. They've already scored one shorthanded goal. They want another. Nicky Dangles again throws one on from an odd angle, bounces all the way up and over the glass. So we'll have a face-off with a minute to go here in the second period and 15 seconds left on this power play, which has turned out to be a bit of a nightmare for SAWO, giving up that effort despite the man advantage.
Yeah, it absolutely has. They're negative so far in the power play throughout this series, and the chances that they've had, 3 opportunities, 1 goal against. I mean, well, technically, 5-on-3, but still, I mean, it's just not what you want to have happen if you're SAWO here down.
Nervous moment as it goes to the crease. Domi will kill the clock. Check your heart rate after that one. It is a 1-0 lead for hREDS heading into the third period. And it's because of this goal from Villapoika, the never say die attitude of hREDS, and they're unshakable mentality monsters in a sense, and they showed why there as they had this lead heading into the third.
Absolutely there. As you see, Nike kind of slid to his left right there. He did have Tombu in a decent position to cut off the angle, but I think he was a bit worried that Villapoika just had a little bit too much space, and so he's able to kind of had to play both sides of that. Thought he may be going back to that forehand as we're going to get another look at just what happened here. Looking like he may have tried to throw that behind the net. He just slid it through the crease right there in a very precarious position as I was just chatting away. I think the period might be coming to an end, but lesson learned for about the 10th time when you're going up against hREDS. There is some late period drama in this one, but more on the topic of SAWO and what the response kind of has been and what it needs to be. We saw at times they were willing to kind of take those high slot shots. We saw that work to great advantage against Frölunda. Think about those Jurska and Vatu goals when they entered the zone, just ripped it on. I think they're going to have to keep trying that right here, and they got away from that a bit, especially on that power play.
SAWO down by 1, but as we saw in that first game, it was SAWO scoring first and then giving up the next 3 in a row. So this one very much not over. It's good zone time there for Jurska. Again, another odd angle shot. Nearly found its way home. And you are watching 2 of the best teams in a competitive NHL 22 setting. Going head-to-head, a lot of money at stake, a lot of pride as well, and I think that would have hurt some pride had that toe drag move worked and resulted in the goal. Here's Nicky Dangles, he throws one in front, and the Nike on the other side, of course, in goal, able to make that stop, but this puck's going to go all the way down for an icing call here. Sets up hREDS for an opportunity to double their lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Very scary moment as well for Nike in the crease as he went for that the freeze on the puck. He kind of knocked it out into that slot area. A bit scary right there, but yeah, you said it. Icing here, hREDS a chance to maybe double up this lead if they have a good face-off play.
And off the draw. Domi not able to get that pass through. Second chance for Nicky Dangles was blocked down. SAWO just 2 goals through 5 periods of play so far in this series. Simply not a good enough conversion rate. Need to find a way to score more goals, but the problem is, as we've talked about, you put forth that extra bit of offensive effort, it can leave you susceptible on the defensive side of things. It feels like so far in this series, despite some good chances, and still SAWO keeping this one alive, that they've been playing hREDS game in a lot of ways.
They absolutely have here. They're getting good on the forecheck. I like to see that come out, but yeah, if they get into that defensive trap game, you got to feel hREDS has that advantage.
King of Apes tries to send that one down low. It was picked off. And suddenly, you blink an eye, and there's 9 minutes gone at this stage of the period. With SAWO rapidly running out of time. Same situation they were in the last game, trailing in the third, not down by as many. So that shot by King of Apes doesn't go through. Benito around the back of the net. Nicky Dangles is there. Now Villapoika helps. Great save there by Nike. Off an in-tight opportunity. Good poke check. Tries to send Vatu down the other way. Nowhere to go. And the clock continues to tick down here, Sin.
Yeah, it's that defensive presence of Domi and King of Apes right there. Even when they're outmanned, it never feels like they are. They continue to make those staunch defensive plays.
Vatu tries to gain the attacking zone. Another penalty called here against hREDS. That's going to kill off some more time, though. As Teemu has this puck here, let's see what he can do. 6 minutes on the clock. SAWO. Sin, if it wasn't a must-score power play earlier in the game, it certainly is now.
I feel like we just keep saying that about these power plays, that they continue to get as hREDS get themselves in the penalty trouble. But they're, again, if you don't make them pay, they're not going to be afraid to use those sticks. And we've talked about that in previous series when they faced Goons. When Goons were making the pay on the power play, then, hREDS were a bit more careful with their sticks, which opened up more space in the O-zone.
Big face-off here. Again, Benito, the centerman, out, so it's an easy win there for SAWO ESPORTS. The underdogs in this series. Great young team with some great young players. And another great opportunity goes to the wayside, but you can sense the urgency in their attack. Moja recovers. Jurska's shot. Great stop by FaZe. The Swedish netminder will cover.
Oh, yeah, almost looked like he was looking to play that out for a minute there. Kind of an interesting animation there at the end, but he does get the cover on it. Good power play so far for SAWO with just a minute 4 left on it. This face-off, again, very important.
Is SAWO in control. Moja not able to get that one through. Domi sends it all the way down. hREDS perhaps 4.5 minutes away from taking a 2-0 series lead in this best of 7. The series will conclude tomorrow. So we hope you join us for that. hREDS playing for a nice sum of money, 16K euro. Another penalty called. Now the man was out of the box here, since, so it will be a fresh 2 minutes of 5-on-4. But Domi will take a seat here for this one. And how many opportunities can SAWO get without taking advantage of one?
I guess we'll find out as this goes on, but this is another kind of quick point that we might want to point out. The stamina bars for hREDS at this point may be getting a little bit low. You can see King of Apes, he's exceptional with managing his stamina, but I wonder about the forwards.
Tom move for Jurska. SAWO need a goal here. It's as simple as that. Or they face a 2-0 deficit in this series. Rebound, and FaZe again able to make that stop. Moja in the corner. Goes back for Tombu. One-timer, another stop by FaZe. Puck is loose. He finds it and covers. Sin, it's a bit hectic around us. Hectic pace certainly on the virtual ice. I mean, just what a pace to this game as SAWO continue to try to find this goal.
Absolutely, and that was a confidence coming out from FaZe. Big challenge.
That shot blocked up for grabs, and it goes all the way back to the SAWO zone as they get back on the attack with 40 seconds left on this man advantage and just over 2 minutes in regulation. Moja for Teemu. Vatu trying to circle through. Finds Moja again. Loose puck. Nicky Dangles can't clear. Dombu keeps it in. That shot on another stop by FaZe. Unbelievable. Certainly has my vote for the best goaltender in the world when it comes to competitive NHL 22 gameplay. Final 52 seconds here for SAWO. Yerska bumped off the puck. Nicky Dangles can't get rid of it though. Moja, great skating. That one thrown on just wide. Secondary opportunity off the blocker. And now it's Domi. Down the other way. Head of steam for the hREDS defender. He gets that puck back. Precious time off the clock here for SAWO. Yerska tried to go to Vatu. Domi was there again. Nicky Dangles still fighting for it. 20 seconds left. It's hREDS momentarily in control. Great play here by Teemu. Has a chance. They don't get a shot off. And what a self-sauce there. Villapoika dumps it down. 10 seconds. Puck turned over. And that will pretty much do it. hREDS going to be carrying a 2-0 series lead into the action tomorrow. Sin. One penalty. They know there's not enough time to do anything. That is the victory sealed. Tremendous work there, as again we get an example as to why they are the two-time defending champions. It's a term that's often used, I'd say more so on the American side of things, but the clamps were in effect there. Defensively, as solid as ever from hREDS, and of course FaZe making some big stops to seal the deal. The champions 2 wins away from an unbelievable €16K that could be awarded tomorrow.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, they looked incredibly well. I think clamps is a good way to put it there. And FaZe in net, of course, especially on some of those shots down the stretch, coming out to challenge the puck, cutting off the short sides. His reaction speed, if he got caught out a little bit, slid back to his left to get back, cover that short side once again. He was absolutely phenomenal. And SAWO, they got a goal, but not in that game. They got
the 2 goals.
Yeah,
it's
like
just the 2 games.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for them because they started off so good. They got that first goal and you thought, okay, you know, maybe they really got a shot. hREDS powered back with 3 unanswered. They get that last one to make it interesting. They come into this game here and they just simply come up empty. They didn't capitalize on the chances. They had, I believe 4 power plays, including a 5-on-3, and they failed to score.
A gigantic result here for hREDS. Again, in this best-of-7 series now, 2 wins in their favor, 2 wins away from moving on to winning this season outright. Again, we thought there might be a chance of this, a grand final awarded without the games needing to be played. Simply didn't happen, or, you know, it simply might not happen that way. There's still time for SAWO, but at the end of the day, still a really rough situation for them to be in. Yeah,
it absolutely is, and at the end of the day, I mean, it takes 4 wins still. So, you know, hREDS still have a job in front of them. That being said, those 2 games, they look like they're firmly in the driver's seat, despite both of them being won by just 1 goal. At the end of the day, it kind of really didn't feel like that, especially in the latter half of both of those games, but in that second game especially. It was SAWO just unable to really get into the zones that they wanted to. They started taking a few more shots, but again, we say it all the time. That's also FaZe back there, and he's not going to be cut off his angles.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, we talked about it. He might be winning a goaltender of the season. I think we have some stuff that we're trying to set up here in the next few moments before we close out this broadcast, and including a word with some of the players here, perhaps, I do believe. We'll see if that ends up happening. But first and foremost, we talked about it, the potential for the Transfer of the Season award to go to one of the members of SAWO that we saw in the form of Teemu. He is up for that award, as well as Flyer Kungan from Falinda HC, Supreeks of Goons, Fopatoflin of the Fallon Coal Miners, and Martindale also of the Fallon Coal Miners. And then again, another situation. All 5 of these guys certainly more than capable of winning this award. At the end of the day, though, do you have a favorite here for who might win this?
You know, my favorite's got to be to Supreeks. I think he was the best pickup for Goons that they needed to get them to that next level. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite cross the threshold, but they looked as good as they've ever looked against that hREDS squad. And, you know, that's definitely my favorite. But, again, you can make an argument for a lot of these guys, especially the 2 to his left on screen.
So with that, the winner of our Transfer of the Season, the biggest addition to a new club, and surprise, surprise, SAWO makes it to the final, and Teemu gets the nod. And not only, of course, did he help make his, did he help get his new club to the final, they also eliminated his old club in the process.
Absolutely, and it was a heck of a moment for him as you saw him, bring up that old Frölunda jersey on the stream, kind of shake it around and say goodbye to that, out with the old, in with the new. And not only that, Teemu has looked really exceptionally strong here in this SAWO club. Kind of a new freedom for him, a new kind of life as he really joins the rush quite often. And fortunately for them, it wasn't enough to get him a W here today. But yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic since joining the SAWO squad, and I think we'll definitely see him in that yellow and black in the coming seasons.
And as well, Sin, I do believe here to round out our first 3 awards of this weekend, we also have our Rookie of the Season. And how about this lineup? Of course, Stargazing making it into the Elite Division. 4 of the final 5 nominees representing that club, including Koloslav, Nika's there as well, Flopery, and Yemechkin. And of course, the lone non-Stargazing nominee was the man affectionately known as Kermit, of course, for ZSC Esports. And what a pickup he was for Zurich this season. A real game changer for that team, but unfortunately the competition level in the Elite Division just so high that ZSC weren't quite able to get to the heights that they were looking to get to.
Absolutely, but he had a phenomenal season. I can't believe that he hadn't been in Elite before now, just with the way he played all throughout the season. That being said, I think Koloslav is also a really, really good bet. He had some really great performances for Stargazing and seemed to be that guy propelling them as they played those opponents who were a bit better, higher up the standings. They really seemed to play up to those opponents, and Koloslav was a big reason why.
Absolutely. So with that, of course, to round this out, our final award of the night as we celebrate the season that was your Rookie of the Season is Kermit of ZSC Esports, and rightfully so. The odds were against him. It was certainly in a Stargazing player's odds on there, of course, 4 out of 5 spots. But again, we turned it to a public vote for the first time on sportsgamer.gg. The people have spoken, and Kermit is your Rookie of the Year after a phenomenal season.
Well, I mean, you could say the odds are against a Swiss team finding a bunch of success against the Finns and the Swedes, with the server differentials and all that. But that being said, I mean, he absolutely earned it here, and, GG's to him.
Absolutely. So with that, we might have to step away for a very brief second. But to do that, I mean, on the other side of it, we get to hear from one of the members of the winning side so far in this season, in King of Apes. I'll be talking to him because, well, the framing for the camera might be difficult otherwise. So give us a brief moment. We will be back, and we will get a brief word here, of course, with Mr. King of Apes after these first 2 games. We are back first and foremost. Again, King of Apes here with me. hREDS, a 2-0 series lead. This was probably about as perfect of a start as you were hoping for through these first 2 games. Sin and I got to talk to you a little bit earlier today as well. We kind of knew the calm mentality was there for you. How did it feel through those first 2 games, and just kind of your thoughts as we kick this series off?
I think first game, especially first period, was so awful. Like, we just couldn't get our thing going, and I think second period was much better. Like, we dominated the game, but I think in third period we was a little too cautious, and second game, I don't know. We took too many penalties, and like usually if we take so many penalties, we will lose the game. But Philip was amazing tonight. So yeah, it's but I think sure we won 2 games, but in overall we didn't play that good, and that's something we need to take care of coming tomorrow again. Try to be better, and yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly, you guys don't want to rely on FaZe, but worst case scenario, you have probably the best goaltender in the world there to bail you out if you're not playing so well. So heading into tomorrow, is it the same mentality, the same mindset as always, or are there a couple of things you guys are going to talk about to try to change things up a little bit?
I think we're going to be a little bit angry because we didn't play that good, and let's face it, we haven't played that good in this playoff yet. So, as personally, I want to find that level that where we can have. But I think we just need to get better. Still, this performance isn't enough, at least for me. Like, sure, we won 2 games, but still, it was so rusty. It wasn't complete show. It was like surviving at the time.
2 wins away from 16K euros, and still not all that happy with your performance. I'm not surprised. That's been your mentality
the whole way through. I want to thank as well our behind-the-scenes producer for finding the one guy who can make me feel short. I will say, in movie magic, took my shoes off, so Sin was a little bit taller. But at the end of the day, here I am, getting absolutely dwarfed in Finland. It's a very fun time. We'll be back in a second as well. Sin's going to be able to speak with a member of SAWO Esports, so of course stick with us here. And again, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Guys, and we are back here. Sin joined by Moja from SAWO Esports. And first and foremost, Moja, obviously not the results that you guys wanted in these first 2 games, but I believe this is your first time playing together on LAN together as a group. What was that experience like?
I mean, obviously it is a new situation for like all of us, and it could be a challenge, but we did quite well, even though we didn't get the results that we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both games decided by just that one goal, and obviously FaZe, a good goaltender to get around. The hREDS defense, very tough as well. But what kind of adjustments do you guys think that you need to make tomorrow to kind of get some more chances?
I mean, we did pretty well in the second game for the chances, but you just gotta score those. Even on the power plays, just gotta score those. And if you concede those kind of goals in the first game, like we did in the second period and so on, I mean, you just cannot make those mistakes on this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as we're hearing from Moji here, mistakes definitely tough to make at this level. And, every single bounce, every single kind of, little thing really gets amplified as well. But for you, some of the positives to take away, I feel like you did a really good job in that face-off dot against Benito, and he's obviously one of the better centermen. So is that kind of a positive that you feel like you could take away in this matchup today?
I mean, I think I've been one of the top guys in the regular season, but these playoffs has been quite a struggle for me. But yeah, I guess that's a positive, but I mean, it didn't create goals, so.
All right, well, I think that will do us for us here tonight here, joined by Moja from SAWO. We appreciate you guys tuning in as well, and maybe heading back to a bit of a brief break before we completely wrap things up for tonight. So we'll see you there in a couple minutes.
All right, and we are back one final time here, Sin, to wrap up the action. Again, the first 2 games in the books, but still so much more to be played heading into tomorrow. Of course, 18:45 CEST, the start time, of course, for those of you outside of the particular region Sin and I happen to be located in right now. Again, SportsGamer GG on every social media platform, and of course, sportsgamer.gg as well, because Sin, of course, not only do we have the events going on here that will be live to cover, but of course the Wilhelm eHockey Tour, a 9:45 CEST start time tomorrow. Of course, ST Hockey has everything going on. Again, it's set up next to us, and we so wish we could show you, but at the end of the day, that is due for tomorrow, especially for those of you that, of course, are here and can join us for that. But, Sin, as we look to wrap things up here, your thoughts on those first 2 games. Again, we both got to speak with a member of each of the teams. Had to put my shoes back on after King of Apes made me feel short. But at the end of the day, a 2-0 lead for hREDS, not all that surprising, but maybe surprising in the way that it played out.
Definitely. I think, they were not happy with only, winning by 1 goal with some of their play as well, but you could see from SAWO, especially talking with Moja, they really expected more out of themselves. Yeah. They really were beating themselves up a little bit, especially in that first game with all those goals in that second period here. So they're going to have to kind of collect themselves and come back a bit stronger, as tough as that's going to be, because hREDS are looking to come back stronger, as they felt like they didn't play quite up to their standards. As you were talking to King of Apes, he said they don't feel like they've been there the entire playoff so far, which is kind of scary to think that hREDS have another level that they think they can achieve.
I just think that shows the confidence that they have. The idea that they are here in this final 2 wins away from, again, not only winning this spring season final, but as a result, they're automatically crowned grand champions. It's another 16K euro in their pockets. And the idea that, oh, well, we haven't even played our best yet. It shows just how confident they are and how they continue to kind of poke and prod not only the community on this side of things, but I think that North American side of things as well, to say we are at a completely different level to any other team in the world.
And, yeah, I mean, we're not going to divulge too much, but we know that's a bit of the attitude from some of those hREDS players. When they're watching the NA, they think we can stop them. They're not going to get past us on the blue line. Those speedy, small wingers aren't going to even dent our staunch defense. And who's to argue with them right now? 2 wins away from a 3-peat here in the ECL Elite, which is absolutely unheard of.
Absolutely. And, of course, for those North Americans as well that always tune into these broadcasts, we know you feel the same way. Maybe someday we'll be able to settle those differences. But for now, Sid and I, hey, we're going to stay over here because we have more action to cover. We'll be back to the North American side of things. Well, me sooner rather than later. But at the end of the day, we had to be here for this. It was a great first day of the action. We hope you enjoyed. And again, we will be back here tomorrow. So again, pay attention to the socials and, of course, sportsgamer.gg as well. Sid and I will certainly be promoting it on our social media as well. For now, my goodness, it's almost Saturday. it's getting late here in Helsinki. You wouldn't know it because the sun barely goes down. But we are done here for today. A big thank you for joining us here. And again, we will be back tomorrow. A champion will be crowned one way or another. hREDS 2 wins away from getting it done.